What's up, just if you're JP in the house, okay, this is another video about school and things like that. I read in the newspaper in Mississippi when students, and they were like saying predominantly black and Latino kids, when they're doing things, the cops come and pick them up from school, take them straight to juvenile hall, and it was more or less like the police department was a delivery service and stuff like that, and the county, I guess, is supposed to be getting sued by the judiciary system, U.S. Justice Department or something like that. But anyway, I want to talk about the students in schools and things that you guys can do to make a lot of things easier for you. What you have to understand is when you're in school, and it does depend on the type of school you're in and the area and the type of teacher and things like that. But actually, you do have a lot of power as a student in school. And the power that you have can actually change a lot of situations for the better. Now, what I'm saying is like you have students in schools shooting up, doing stuff like that, and they're changing it, right? You got some students who are just doing silly things and they're changing things, So for you students who want to excel, then you need to do things to change, to make a change for yourselves. I've made some videos about this. I haven't really titled them correctly, like Until You're 22, I think it's one video it's called, and it's about studying hard and getting your future prepared, instead of engaging or before you engage in any type of sexual activities and things like that. This one is basically for you to reach your success a little faster. What is it called? Compulsory school system and stuff. It's just something that they made up for us to do, or kids to do. And they have a lot of articles why. It was just to get the kids off the street. And there was a time where even white kids too were those who were into the scholarly system and all of that stuff, they thought that normal people could not be educated. There was a big fight about that. So education in the United States for everyone, is really recent. It really is recent. And what you have to understand is you do not have to stay in school till you're in the 12th grade. You don't have to do that. You can gain the knowledge and you can exit early with a degree. You can do that. I suggest in some of my videos that if you have access to a computer and internet, of course you do if you're watching this, then you should do some extra studying. And there are a lot of videos on YouTube that will, my head is all the way down here, that will help you to, gain a lot of knowledge quicker, and just tutoring and stuff like that. There's Math Khan Academy is great for math and sciences and some history and things like that. When you're going through school, the basic education system in the United States is relatively easy. You can pretty much finish all of that stuff by the time you are in the 6th grade. If you are one of those students who wants to excel, you can definitely finish that stuff by the 8th grade. All it is just the math. The math, like I've said, is just different ways of adding and subtracting. Multiplication is just adding the same number. Division is subtracting the same number. Then you got to the power. It's just multiplying the same number by whatever that number is at the top. And it's not really that hard. And the history is just something you just have to study. And you can make charts and get together with your friends and do this. But when you're in the classroom situation and you have these teachers who don't care how you perform, they just there for a paycheck, or they might be insulting you, or you might be the one insulting them, and you just might be there because you have to be there. But don't take that attitude. If you have a teacher who is rude to you or don't care, it still doesn't matter, because they're giving you, all they're doing in school is just giving you information. They're saying, hey, this is a link, www.history.us@us.com, whatever, okay? And they're giving you this book, and they're telling you to read this book, and then they're giving you a test on the information that's in the book, and that's it. And it's no different than studying something on your own. Now, I can understand that you got some classes where, like, for instance, science and things like that, where, the teacher explained different things and might give you a little history and stuff like that. But still, a lot of that stuff, too, if you go on the internet, YouTube or whatever, and you search those things, these teachers give those backgrounds on there, too. And they can, because of the videos aren't that long, especially not as long as mine, they can really break it down to where you can understand it. So while you're in these schools, you really need to take the initiative to do better on your own, studying on your own. Because when you get older, a lot of kids saying, when I get, like I was talking to one of my YouTube friends on Skype, and he watched my videos, and now he's in college, and he will say, wow, when you're in college, it's so different, and it is. In college, they saying, hey, you're paying for it, this is what you do, you got to study this stuff on your own, and it's very different, and it really does depend on how you are, whether you're going to, really understand it, or it's going to be more difficult, or if it's going to be a little difficult, more difficult than it was in high school, then no one's there to press you to do the work. You have to do this on your own. You have some teachers, there are a lot of teachers out there who are good, and they will help you, and they'll assist you the best that they can. But it still falls on you. If you mess around and drop out of college, don't finish like I did, and things like that, then you will have to, well, it wasn't that I dropped out, I didn't drop out, I finished semester and I didn't go back because I was moving. But what I'm saying is, if you don't have that natural intelligence, well, you do have it, but if you don't turn it on, if you don't pay attention to it, then you're going to make a lot of things it's just going to be harder for you. It's going to make things more difficult for yourself. Go out there trying to look for a job when you got the tools to create jobs or to create income right there. Your computer can do that. Read as much information as you can. Travel. Stop. It's these hype out there. People don't like me. So what? If the whole world really did hate black people, so what? You can't wake up every day and think about that. You can't wake up every day and think about how your mother treats you, or how your father is not there, or how your father is there and your mother is not there, because you do got motherless homes too. And you can't think about that. When you wake up in the daytime, there's another day for you to get as much as knowledge as you can, so that you can build something before you sleep, because you might not be around the next day. And if you are around the next day, then you want to be in good condition, and you want to be refreshed, and you want to be happy and content with your with your motivation to do better, and if you do these things, the only thing it's going to do, there's only one thing it's going to do, it's just going to make a lot of things easier to handle, and that's it. It's not going to make life easier. It's not going to make a life more bearable. It's not going to do that. It's just going to make dealing with these things easier, because you're going to have to deal with a lot of things unless you tap into the more inner of yourself. And we all know it's there. I mean, they can disguise it in religion or whatever. Okay, and let's say you guys are Christians, then you tap into the Holy Spirit or Jesus Christ or whatever religions you are. And if you can tap into that, then a lot of things you'll be able to avoid. Okay, because there are things out there telling you things to avoid, but you got to be sensitive. You have to have the senses to avoid those, or I mean to pick up the clues and stuff, or the vibes or whatever it is to do that. But most people don't do that, so they tend to go through their life as if it's a day-to-day struggle. And actually, existing, existing is a lifelong struggle, but existing is a lifelong grind. And you don't want to just live. I mean, you don't want to just exist on this earth. You want to live. You want to enjoy everything. And trust me, studying extra after school, reading other materials and stuff, it is so fulfilling, and it really is. And what makes it even interesting, but a little bit cold, is you won't understand it until you actually move or hang out with people who have the same kind of knowledge. So if you're like, I hang out with some people and we talk about, I don't know, it's kind of stupid, right? Okay, so we'll talk about talking to girls and stuff, and then you got some guys who just don't have it in them, and they just really shy, so it's really difficult to communicate with them about that. But then you got some people who understand what it's all about, and the knowledge that's exchanged, and the knowledge that's exchanged isn't even about having sex or anything like that. It's just the point of being able to communicate with people, with women, on a general sense of just communication and things like that. And it really is a great thing. So all this extra studying that I keep asking you guys to do or suggesting you to do is only going to benefit you. And once it starts benefiting you, then you can share it, and it'll you'll be able to how can I say share the information, and if someone else picks it up or do it, then it'll benefit them. So please do this. If you're in these schools, stop arguing with your teacher, and if they're doing things bad, go home and report it to your parents, okay, or report it to the principal and things like that. But you don't need to argue with them, because the time is going to go by so fast. Once you get into junior high school, you just got 5 years, 6 years, Once you get into high school, you got 3 more years, and that's it, and it's going to go by fast. And school really isn't that difficult, because you're not stupid. I mean, you only study because you think it's difficult, but there it is, the abstract word, what's difficult, impenetrable. But what are you penetrating when you're studying? It's nothing to penetrate. It's just something to understand. It's not it's not a substance. It's nothing that you can touch, feel, or hold, or anything like that. So what's difficult about it? It's just, you just have to understand the vocabulary. And it might take you some while to do it, but then that's what they have these books called thesauruses, which are synonyms. So you just pick up one of those and go through it online or whatever, and it'll give you a definition. It'll supply a bunch of words, and one of those words, I'm sure you're going to understand it. And a thesaurus is really it's a beautiful book to read. It'll open up a lot. But I got a few seconds. But when you're in these schools, stop arguing with your teacher. Just go in there and do your work. And when you're on your break times, instead of hanging out with your friends doing nothing, just hit the libraries. Because it's going to come a time when you finish school, and you might finish college, but you don't want to end up back in school again at your job. And what I mean is having a job that you're going to be stuck with the rest of your life. Can't even retire and make any money, do anything, and it'll be just like being in school again. You got your boss, you got your classmates, and it's gonna be you want to rise above that, and please rise above that, okay? Because it's only gonna benefit you. Well, no, it'll benefit me too, because then I'll have to read about this stuff. Anyway, I'm out. Peace.